Hi and welcome to a new video on my channel. I'm Andrea and today we're making this Tunisian crochet square that's part of the Tunisian crochet along hosted by Aronima from Knit or Knotter. If you want to get the written instructions, please check out her website, and there you will find all the other squares that have been published already. All the patterns are made by different designers, and the point is to have squares that are 30 by 30 centimeters or 12 by 12 inches. This is my contribution to the Tunisian crochet along, and you could also buy a PDF version of this pattern if you're interested. The free version of this pattern is available on my blog, and if you go to Aronima's website, you will find links to all the other squares in this crochet along. First, let's talk a bit about materials. For this square, you will need 2 colors of yarn. This is color 1, the darker or the sun color. You can choose any yellow or light orange. You can make it in any color you have. For your blanket, you will need about 15 to 20 grams or 30 to 45 meters of this color in DK weight. And you have color 2, you'll need about 30 to 40 grams or 70 to 90 meters of this color. Ideally, you would want them to be the same kind of yarn with the same weight. So you'll be using DK weight yarn for this pattern. If you use thinner yarn, you'll get a smaller square. You also need a hook. You can use a regular crochet hook. This is actually a 7mm, even though it says 8mm. And this is what I will use for the video. And you also need a pair of scissors and a tapestry needle to finish off. We begin with a magic ring and 8 single crochet stitches into the magic ring. So chain 1 and then put 8 single crochet stitches into the loop. Then when you're finished with the magic ring, you pull on the tail to close it. And slip stitch into the first stitch. To begin the first section, we chain 4, leaving the chains loose. And then we pick up 4 loops in the back bumps of the chains. And then we pick up 1 more loop in the first single crochet stitch. Then we yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning of the row to return. Then we have a short row. We pick up 3 stitches. Yarn over, pull through 2 to return. Then we have a regular row. We pick up 4 loops, 2 in the previous row, 2 in the first row. And then we pick up 1 more loop in the same first single crochet stitch. Then we yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning of the row. Now we have another short row, so we pick up 3 simple stitches and do a short row return by doing yarn over, pull through 2. Next we have 4 simple stitches, 2 in the row before and 2 in the row underneath. And the next loop we pick up in the next single crochet stitch in the first 8. Then we yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning to return, and we continue like this, making 1 short row, 1 long in the same single crochet stitch, and then 1 more short row. Then we have 4 more rows in the next single crochet, and so on until we have 32 rows all around the initial 8 single crochet stitches. When you're done with this section, you will have 32 of these loops on top. Make sure that there are 32, not more, not less. So count now, and then make a slip stitch into the first end of the row here. We'll consider this a stitch. So make a slip stitch here, And then later, when we're finished with the square, we will close this gap. Section 2 is very similar to section 1. We start with 4 chains. Then pick up loops in the back bumps. And then pick up one more loop in this same stitch. But instead of just going through these 2 loops, we will also be going through the 3rd loop on the back here. And pick up a loop. This will ensure that we don't have a gap where the 2 sections will be connected. Then we yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning. And now we have a short row. We pick up 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we pick up 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning of the row. And now we have a regular row. So we have 4 loops, and then we pick up a loop in the next stitch or the next row from the previous section, and make sure we pick up the 3rd loop as well. Then yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning, and this is one pattern repeat for section 2. Then we start again with a regular row. We put it into the next space, picking up the 3rd loop as well. Yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning. Then we have the 2 short rows. First 2 Tunisian simple stitches, return. Then 4 Tunisian simple stitches. Return. And lastly, we have the regular row. We have 4 Tunisian simple stitches. Pick up 1 loop into the next stitch on the first section. Yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning. We repeat this all around until we reach back to the first row, and then I will show you how to switch colors. When you're done with the last repeat, you will slip stitch into the first stitch of the first row. But this time we will pick up the 2nd color when slip stitching. So bring the 2nd color close by and insert the hook under the same loops that you used for this section. So the 2 loops and then the 3rd loop, and pick up a loop and slip it. This way we start the next section with color 2. To make the 2nd section, we chain 5. Then we pick up loops in the back bumps of all of these chains. And finish with picking up a loop in the same stitch. Then yarn over, pull through 2 to return. This is the first row of the 3rd section. And now we return to color 1. We bring it up on the back side of the work. And then we pick up 4 loops with it. This will be a short row. Make sure that this loop on the back is not very tight, so it's loose enough to allow the row to be as tall as it needs to be. When you have 4 loops on the hook, you do a short row return, but stop before you do the last return and switch back to color 2. And finish returning with the last stitch with color 2. Using color 2, we make 5 simple stitches, This is a regular row. And we pick up a loop in the next stitch on the second section. Again, using the third loop as well. Then yarn over, pull through 2 to return. And we repeat this 5 simple stitches, pick up a loop in the next stitch, including the third loop, and return. Now we have another short row. We bring up color 1. We make 4 simple stitches. Then we return 3 times and finish with color 2. Then we have 5 simple stitches with color 2. And pick up a loop in the next stitch on section 2. Yarn over, pull through 2 to return. And from here you know what to do. You will repeat this 3-row sequence all around this circle. So we have a regular row with color 2, short row with color 1, regular row with color 2. I will meet you back when I'm done. When you're finished with section 3, you should have a circle with 32 of these sun rays. So count them now, make sure you have 32, because if you don't, then you have to find out where you made a mistake and fix it, because on the 5th section you will need to divide this into 4 equal parts. And if you have 30 of these, for example, it's not going to be fun. So make sure you have 32. And now you can cut off color 1, so the middle color. Don't cut off color 2, leaving a long tail, which we will later use to close up this gap. Section 4, we work only with color 2. First we put a slip stitch into the first stitch of the first row on the previous section. Then we chain 5. We pick up 5 loops in the back bumps of the chains. Then we pick up 1 loop in the first stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 to return. This is the first row. Then we have another regular row. Pick up a loop in the next stitch, using the third loop as well. Yarn over, pull through 2 to return. Then we have a short row. We pick up 4 simple stitches. Yarn over, pull through 2 to return. And 1 more regular row. And pick up a loop in the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2 to return. This is the repeat. We have 2 regular rows, 1 short row with 4 loops, then 1 more regular row. We repeat this all around until we reach back to this first row. I will meet you there when I'm done. When you reach the end of section 4, you want to measure your circle. The diameter needs to be at about 28 centimeters or 11 inches. What I have here is a bit too large for the 30 centimeter squares, so you have 2 options now. You can continue with the squaring from here, or you can do early squaring from section 3. So instead of section 4, you will work a modified section 4, and you have instructions in the pattern on how to do that. Now I will show you how to do the regular squaring, and then you decide what you would like to do. So if your inner circle up to section 3 is at about 9 inches or 23 centimeters, then it's better to do the early squaring. To start the next section, we slip stitch into the first stitch on the previous section, keeping in mind that we always use the third loop. Then we chain 1. We make 1 Tunisian simple stitch and finish it off in the corresponding first stitch. Then we have 4 more rows with 1 Tunisian simple stitch. On row 6 we add 1 more stitch, so we pick up the first loop and then we increase by inserting the hook into the horizontal space here between the Tunisian simple stitch and the last section. We draw up a loop and then finish the row in the next stitch, and then yarn over, pull through 2 to return. We have 2 more rows with 2 stitches. And now we have an increase. We have 2 Tunisian simple stitches, 1 increase, and finishing the row. Then we have another row with 3 Tunisian simple stitches. Then a row with an increase. So we have 4 stitches on this row. And then another row with 4 stitches. One more increase. Then another row with 5 stitches. And now we have the last increase for this corner. And 1 more row with 6 stitches. Now you should have 16 rows here, and we start creating the corner. We pick up 6 Tunisian simple stitches. And now instead of connecting them to the next space here, we will do a short row return. So we yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning of the row. And then we pick up 5 Tunisian simple stitches, do a short row return. Then we have 4 and so on. Now we have 1 left. We pick up the Tunisian simple stitch and yarn over, pull through 2. This is half of the square that will be in the corner. And to turn the corner, we chain 1 and pick up 1 loop in the back bump of this chain. And now we look at the work and find the row with 1 Tunisian simple stitch and insert the hook into the diagonal space here on top of the stitch. We pick up a loop, then yarn over, pull through 2 twice. Now we have to increase, so we pick up the first stitch. We have 1 Tunisian simple stitch. Then we insert the hook into the space between the stitch and the diagonal to create 1 stitch. We pick up a loop here, and then we look for the row with the 2 Tunisian simple stitches and insert the hook into the diagonal corresponding to it. We pick up a loop, Then we yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning of the row. And we continue like this, increasing once and then picking up a loop in the diagonal until we have 6 stitches. So now we have 2 Tunisian simple stitches, 1 increase, 1 loop in the next diagonal, yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning to return. Next we have 4 stitches, so we have the 3, make 1 and pick up a loop in the diagonal. Then we have the 4, make 1, pick up the loop in the diagonal and return. And for the last row, we pick up the 5 Tunisian simple stitches. We make 1. And instead of going only through the diagonal space here, we also go with the hook through the next space in the previous section. This will prevent a hole from forming in the corner. So we pick up this loop, yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning of the row. If we didn't do this, there would be a hole here and it would not look nice. Now we start the second part of the corner. We have 6 Tunisian simple stitches on this row. And pick up 1 loop in the previous section, return. Next we have a row with a decrease, so we pick up 4 loops. And the 5th one will be 2 together, so we insert the hook underneath 2 of the vertical bars and pick up a loop. Then find the next stitch on the previous section, pick up a loop, then yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning. Now we have another row with 5. We have 5 Tunisian simple stitches. And finish the row. And we have a new decrease. So we pick up 3 loops. Then we have a decrease. And the final loop in anchoring in the previous section. Then we yarn over, pull through 2 to return. And we have another 4 Tunisian simple stitch row. Another row with 4 Tunisian simple stitches. Then another decrease. We have 2 stitches, 2 together, finish the row. Three stitches on the next row. Then a decrease. We have 1 Tunisian simple stitch, decrease. Two more rows with 2 simple stitches. And the last decrease. And 4 more rows with Tunisian simple stitch. Now one corner is done, and you will repeat this process on all the other corners. and I will meet you back at the beginning. Once you're done with the last repeat, you don't do the slip stitch into the top of the first stitch. You cut the yarn, leaving a tail, and then pull the end through the last stitch, and then you create an invisible seam here at the top. You insert the needle behind the second loop and bring it to the front, and then insert the needle back into the originating stitch, and that creates a fake stitch at the top so that the edge looks seamless. And now I will show you how to close up this seam. First we will work with color 2. We turn the piece so that the gaps face us, and we bring up the yarn from the bottom on the right side of the work if you're a righty, on the left if you're a lefty, and we bring it up underneath the first horizontal bar from the Tunisian crochet stitch. We go underneath this bar, and then we go on the other side and find the corresponding bar and insert the needle below it. Then we pull on the yarn, and this will create a seam. Then we go through the fabric, and here we have the seam between the sections. We just create a simple ladder stitch, and then we go back into the first side underneath the first horizontal bar on that side, and then the corresponding bar on the other side. And then through the fabric again, just keep going like this on one side and then the other, and when you're finished you pull on the yarn and you will see that the gap closes and these horizontal bars look continuous. When you're done with color 2, you push it to the back and weave it in. And then you can do the same thing using the first tail from color 1, going from the middle, using the same technique through and up the loop on one side and under the loop on the other side. When you're finished, you should have something that looks like this, and you can block it with a bit of steam. Don't pull on it because it will grow. So I will steam this and connect it to the other square that I have. This is the back, just for reference. You can see that all the short rows are connected with each other, and then you have this little float. So I will connect these two into a pillowcase, and you can do the same if you want to with your own squares. Now I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and please check out all the other square patterns from the Tunisian Crochet Along hosted by Aronima from Knit or Knotter. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Check out other videos on my channel about Tunisian crochet and regular crochet. And if you want to support me in making more free patterns for you and videos like this, please consider buying a PDF copy of any of my patterns. If you want to know when I publish more videos and more patterns, please subscribe to my emails and to the YouTube channel, and I will let you know when I have anything new. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!